doing? Doing good. It's too cold in here. I told if I can get this over. I'm doing better if I get this over. Okay. And then I'm sick. Anybody got a blanket? How about a space heater? Y'all can laugh. It's cold in here. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the meeting of the General Government Committee meeting. Would the clerk please call the roll for the members of the committee, please?
Chairperson Mayor Pro Tem Adams.
Here.
Vice Chair, Councilmember Joyner.
Present.
Councilmember Burke.
Here.
And Councilmember Hall.
Here.
Thank you so much. Also, as many of you know, we have two parts to our agenda. We have the consent agenda and we have the general agenda. And we have only one item on the consent agenda, and we're going to do that by a voice vote. So if someone would please make a motion.
Move to approve item C1. A second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Our next part of our agenda is the general, and we do have 3 items, and I will ask the clerk to go ahead and call the first item.
Item G1, resolution removing a city-owned parcel from the list of city-owned sites for affordable housing development and authorizing the sale of that land to Triad Cultural Arts, Inc. to support the Shotgun House Legacy site.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Rao.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Adams, Mayor Joynes, members of the City Council. In April 2023, the City Council authorized the sale of 2 shotgun houses located within Happy Hill to Triad Cultural Arts for $1 to establish the Shotgun House Legacy site. In May of 2024, the City Council authorized a contribution of $70,000 from occupancy tax fund reserves to assist in the rehabilitation of one of those houses for the project. And then this past February, Triad Cultural Arts held a grand reopening of the restored house at 716 Humphrey Street with over 100 members of the community attending the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Staff from Triad Cultural Arts has approached city staff about acquiring a city-owned parcel that's directly across the street from the Shotgun House Legacy site. It's marked lot number 249 on the map that's included with the council action. That parcel is currently part of the list of city-owned sites that have been designated for affordable housing development. But they're interested in acquiring that site to develop it for parking and for a gathering place to accommodate their current programming and tours of the site, and also to support the next phase of the Shotgun House Legacy project. I'd like to introduce Bria Armstrong, the Executive Director of Triad Cultural Arts, who will provide a brief presentation on their request.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Good afternoon, Ms. Armstrong. Would you please provide your name and address for the record, please?
Absolutely. Good evening. My name is Bria Armstrong. I reside at 51 East 4th Street, right around the corner. And I also have our architect with us, Glenn.
Hi, my name is Glenn Folk.
Excellent. So I'm very grateful that we have the presentation in front of us, but City Council member, there's so many of you here. I'm so pleasantly surprised at the number of you here. And so I just want to send first certainly greetings to you all, to Mr. Mayor, and also a special thank you to Ben Rao for all of his help in getting us here. So first, today is a great day, Council. Today is a great day because we at Triad Cultural Arts are finally able to present both updates on our current programming needs and how to protect that previous investment that was mentioned, and also share an opportunity, a new opportunity for us to work together to continue to serve our city proudly. So last year, thank you, Glenn. I got a band of white, y'all. Coming up in the world. So last year, the city was generous enough to support the Shotgun House preservation efforts with that $70,000 gift. Since then, preservation is 95% done and completed. And if you all have built a house before, you understand how that last 5%, I feel like, takes the longest, and have welcomed over 500 people to the house, including, as was mentioned, a February 22nd ribbon cutting, which several of you attended, and thank you for that, which was standing room only and warranted an above the fold feature in the journal, which I think should be here somewhere. Yeah, there we go, in the journal. The house has held numerous events, such as our Foodways events, which Steph Stephanie Tyson came out of semi-retirement to offer biscuits and an indication of how the Shotgun House brings the best out of our community. This house also offers exhibits, artifacts, art, and provides educational enrichment for people of all ages. So again, committee, just want to acknowledge that this is what it looked like a year ago. A year ago, this was the Shotgun House. And here we are today, evidence of how Tricultural Arts is an excellent steward of city resources and assets. And so I am here today to share an opportunity for us to both continue to fulfill our mission by serving even more community members through an expansion of our facilities footprint. So first, just acknowledging the sort of quaint nature of our current parcel, as well as the fact that it is situated in a residential location, I want to acknowledge how gracious the Happy Hill residents and communities and neighbors have been, both in terms of supporting and supplying artifacts and oral histories, but also with the slight nuisance of cars clogging up their road, right? If any of you, I'm sure many of you have been to the Shotgun House, you understand the curve that it sits on, and we want to welcome as many visitors as possible, but again, also want to be a good neighbor. And TCA aims to be the best neighbor we can by moving parking off the street and onto a parking area that serves larger volume vehicles, such as school buses and trolleys, and also serve as a gathering space for the neighborhood. Today, I am here to formally request that the City of Winston-Salem sell its parcel on Humphrey Street, number 249 on the affordable housing list, to our organization for a nominal fee, as we see this as an excellent use of the city's resources that further protects its investment in the Shotgun House and further supports its investment in one of its most blighted communities, which we can change together. This parcel has yet to be bid on during previous and current bid processes, likely due to the topographical and environmental challenges posed by the property, being situated between a Duke Power Station on one side, the railroad tracks on the other. While this parcel, if you go and see it today, is currently covered in trees, when I look at it, I see school buses unloading in the lot and students having lunch at the picnic tables while others tour the house. I envision fish fries and spades tournaments of the past coming to life in this space. As proud keepers of culture, we honor the role of fellowship and the role that community also plays in the Black experience, and see an opportunity to both celebrate this cultural nuance while acknowledging the logistical needs of the Shotgun House parking. As we plan for the future, yes, this parcel is essential to the short-term functionality, as you've already heard, continued development, and long-term sustainability of the Shotgun House, and the full build of the Triad's first full local Black history museum and cultural center. And I emphasize full in that it's expanding beyond civil rights of what we've seen in Greensboro and really thinking about all types of areas. So now that we are wrapping up the restoration of the Shotgun House, and during the next 3 years, Tricultural Arts will conduct a multi-million-dollar comprehensive campaign to establish the first broad topic local Black history museum here in the Triad, our most ambitious project yet. This will provide TCA with more sustainability via earned income from ticket sales. And while we build this vision, Tricultural Arts will continue delivering high-quality programs, showcasing its capacity, and laying a foundation for partnerships to enrich the museum and existing Shotgun House exhibits. there we go. Yes, that's what I want y'all to see. That's what I'm talking about. So the planned space is going to be about 15,000 square feet. It'll include a 120-seat auditorium, an artist pavilion, gallery, exhibit space, and viewing tower, with content areas including education, activism, the arts, religion, and industry. We've already established some incredible partnerships with institutions like Wake Forest, Duke University, the Schomburg, the Studio Museum of Harlem, the Black Panther Museum in Oakland, and I'm super excited to take these local stories and elevate them to a national and state level. So, whether it's telling the story of the Safe Bus, Winston-Salem having the first Black Panther Party chapter in the South, the ingenuity of folks like George Black or Wade Bidding, or us having the first sit-in victory in North Carolina, Tricultural Arts is on a path to ensure that our local Black history is forever preserved, so that no matter what happens at the local or the national or state level, we can declare as a community, as a city that I proudly call home, what's important to us and what we want our children to know about the legacy that they have inherited. So our ask today is one of the first steps necessary to ensure that we can provide shotgun house tours into perpetuity and logistically have the space for parking required for this larger facility. And with that, we want our children to have a strong sense of belonging, self-esteem, and pride, and thus confidence in themselves to strive for more. Will you join me? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Armstrong, and the gentleman from New York. Could we get his name for the record, please? And address.
Glenn Folk, and I'm a Winston-Salem native, proud R.J. Reynolds High School graduate, but my address in New York City is 240 8th Avenue, number 3F, New York 10001.
Thank you so much. I just want to say before Mr. Ryle speaks that when you did mention 15 years in the making, I remember when Cheryl Harry and some others met with me. I'd just gotten elected. I knew about the shotgun house. This was like, because I was, again, my family lived over there. When I was born, 1954, we were living in that area. But I also knew about the cottages on Thurman as well. So in between all of these, both of these, I have to give it to Triad Cultural Arts for staying so diligent and working the process to get this done, because when this was brought to me, it seemed like, we were all like, well, it might, shoulda, coulda, we may be able to get it done, maybe not. And now to be able to see it in its true, form and coming to fruition, it makes me very proud, because as I tell people, if you have a dream and you can't believe the dream and go get it, it'll never become a reality. And I got to give it to, again, Triad Cultural Arts. You are the keepers of the culture of African-American history in this city, and you always have been. So I'm going to thank you, and then I'm going to let Mr. Rao do his thing. Thank you so much.
So the item before the committee this afternoon is a resolution that really comes in two parts. The first action would be to remove Lot 249 from the list of city-owned sites that have been designated for affordable housing development in order for the city to sell the parcel to Triad Cultural Arts. And then the second part of the resolution is for council to authorize an option to purchase to Triad Cultural Arts for $1 to acquire the property. It would be a 2-year option based on the estimate that they received to construct the parking lot and the gathering place, which for it to be an asphalt lot would be up to $87,000. The 2 years would enable them to be able to raise the funds to be able to develop the parcel for those needs. Under the terms, if you will, the conditions that if they do not raise the funds within that 2-year period, then the city would retain ownership of the parcel and it would go back onto the list of city-owned sites for affordable housing development. Jamie, if you could open up Exhibit A, there would also be some additional conditions that would be associated with the sale. If they do raise some funds within the 2-year period, then the city would deed the land over to Triad Cultural Arts with some conditions. First of all, that the parcel is properly zoned to support the use of the Shotgun House Legacy site, and I believe it'd have to be rezoned to institutional property. The parcel is used to provide parking sufficient to meet the UDO requirements for a multi-use center. The Tricultural Arts would construct part of the parcel as a gathering place to host community events or programming at the legacy site. No city funds would be requested to develop and maintain the parcel. And then if Tricultural Arts does not construct the parking lot and the gathering place within 1 year of being deeded the land, then the ownership would revert back to the city and the parcel would be added back to the list of city-owned sites designated for affordable housing. And then finally, a final condition would be that Tricultural Arts cannot sell the parcel for a profit, nor can it sublease the parcel to another organization. So the statutory authority that we're using to do this partnership is 168-279, which allows local governments to sell property to a nonprofit that's carrying out a public purpose. And in this case, the public purpose would be developing a multi-use center, a museum, and that's in 168-488. So that's the item before you this afternoon, the two parts. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I'm going to take questions or comments from the committee and others, but again, I just want to say, I'm excited about this. Again, when I came home from KDB, I came home to my mom and dad's duplex, like down the street from this site under the railroad track. And to be able to see that Winston-Salem stayed, Happy Hill, and what's, transformed now the Southeast Ward and the East Ward together. It looks amazing over there. Council member, the appearance, the landscaping, the DOT, everything we've done over there in the past 15 years, I am ecstatic. Are there any questions or comments from the committee? And then I'll hear from the council member if there's any. Councilmember Scipio.
Yes, Mr. Rao, I just want to clarify what the restrictive covenant is. So first, there's a 2-year lease option.
It would be a 2-year option to purchase. To buy them the time to raise the funds to actually construct the parking lot and the gathering place.
But if after 1 year, is that what I read?
So if they raise the funds to construct the lot and the gathering place, then the option fee would revert to the purchase price for $1. And then from that point, when the land is deeded to Tricultural Arts, they have a year to actually construct the improvements. And if they don't construct the lot and the gathering place within a year, then the land would revert back to the city and would be added back to the list of city-owned sites for affordable housing.
Just want to make sure everybody understands what that timeline is and whether or not that would be the best way to go. Just one more time. It's a 2-year option to buy.
That's correct. Well, to raise the funds to develop the parcel.
Okay, so 2 years to raise the money. At this point, though, they're going to buy it for $1. Then they have 2 years to raise the money, and after 2 years, they've got 1 year to build the parking. Is that the way?
They'll pay us $1 for an option to purchase the property, and in that 2-year period of time, the hope is they'll raise the funds to be able to construct the parking lot and the gathering place. If they do that, at the end of the 2 years, then we'll deed the land over to Tricultural Arts, and then from that point, they'll have a year to actually construct the parking lot and the gathering place. If they do not actually construct the improvements in that 1-year period, then the land would revert back to the city and would be placed back on the sites for affordable housing development.
That just sounds a lot of different things to do. I just wondered if it made more sense just to give them 5 years. to actually transition the property.
Well, the reason why it's sequenced like that is, first of all, they can't actually construct anything on it until
they own it.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Joyner?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Couple of things. One, I've been to the Shotgun House, the property. It is, the inside speaks volumes to truly what the restoration is. And so I commend them for that. The 2-year beginning, the 1 year to actually put the parking lot in place. Is there a stipulation involved for an extension, or is there an opportunity for any kind of extension? Say they started but it was the 11th hour or the 11th month, so the parking lot isn't actually done, but they have the means to complete the task. Is there an opportunity for them to get a 30-day or 90-day extension to complete the task?
So those particular details are not reflected in the action, but I think if you all want to direct staff to negotiate an option that would allow for that, we certainly can do that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I'm good. We have a motion. Can I have a motion on the floor for item G1, please?
Move for approval.
I second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, we are voting electronically. And all those opposed, like signs. Thank you so much. The motion passes. Congratulations, TRC. Clerk, would you please call the next item?
Item G2, resolution amending Article 2 of the City of Winston-Salem Personnel Resolution to update language related to competitive market range and pay grade adjustments.
Dr. Cofield Jones.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, and Mayor Joyner. What you have before you is a resolution to update the class and comp section 30 in the general policy for pay, and that is for competitive market pay range adjustments. Currently, it says that any changes that are made based on the results of a market study, that if the range changes, the employees would go to the minimum of the range, and then for those employees that are within the range would receive a 5% increase if it does not exceed the max. The proposal before you is for any changes of that sort, the employee goes to the minimum of the pay range, and that the city manager would have authority to determine for those employees within the range if an increase is warranted based on the market information.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? As you all know, we are moving to the direction to get the study done, and this is just part of making sure that it goes according to the wishes of the council. Are we good? All right. May I have a motion, please?
Move for approval.
I second.
It has been moved and properly seconded by Councilmember Burke and Councilmember Joyner. All those in favor, please vote electronically. Like sign, and all those opposed as well. Thank you so much, and the motion passes. Next item, please, Clerk.
Item G3, resolution authorizing a $2 million contribution to the Winston-Salem Foundation to establish an affordable housing trust fund to address housing needs in Winston-Salem.
Thank you so much. Manager Pate.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. As you know, this was brought to the committee last month for discussion and for information. We're back this month because we have heard that council wants to move forward with this. I'm going to ask the Budget Director, Scott Tesh, to come in and tell you how we would fund this, but the request was for us to put $2 million into the Housing Trust Fund as a part of the efforts to show that we've got public commitment to this as they go out to try to seek private investments to maximize out this fund.
Thank you, Mr. Tesh.
Good afternoon, excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, members of the committee and council. As the city manager said, there's roughly $2 million that would go into this. There is a project budget ordinance attached there too. All of the money that we would be putting towards this are essentially from project and fund balances that are already related to housing projects. I'll go through them kind of in three areas. One is taking $750,000 from the rental rehab fund. This is a fund that used to be used for federal projects and has some program income in it from projects that have been completed. We do have a series of projects that were funded through general obligation bonds, specifically for housing in 2018. There are balances left over in things like the Acela project for neighborhood services for code enforcement that has been completed. There are some balances left over from neighborhood development in the East Ward. There is also a little bit of money that we'll be taking from the TURN program. And then there is an amount of money from the Southeast Gateway project that is 2006 certificates of participation. That money has been out there for quite some time and has not been used, and so this is an opportunity to use that money. But again, these are basically project balances from multiple housing projects throughout the years that we have coalesced together to come to this $2 million.
Thank you. I'm going to recognize the mayor at this time.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just wanted to add my strong support for the cities joining in this program. As you know, we've been talking about the need for our local housing trust fund for some time. I've been on some calls with Ms. Summerfield as we've talked to some local institutions and businesses to get their buy-in. And I think it's extraordinarily important that the city shows and demonstrates its commitment to this by making this small investment towards hopefully as much as a $40 million housing trust fund. So I would enthusiastically encourage us to approve this.
Thank you. Would it be out of order? Can I call up Ms. Summerfield, please?
If you have additional questions for you, certainly may.
Yes. Because I know how hard she's been working on this. A lot of time. Thank you so much. Your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Elaine Summerfield. I'm at 1514 Cloverdale, and great to be with you this afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, and members of council. Is there a question that I could address for you?
Could you kind of give a short synopsis of how we have gotten to this point and your role to a certain degree of helping us to bring all of this together, to even begin the journey?
Yes, yes. So the Winston-Salem Foundation seeks to find ways that we can bring community members together to address common goals. And I think a great way to do that is through public-private partnerships. This is an illustration of how successful public-private partnership can come together, with the city contributing $2 million and the private sector bringing in the rest. I've been working with multiple community partners, starting with a working group last year, over 6 months meeting and really investigating what the possibilities could be, and finally settling on the decision to partner with Self-Help Ventures to administer the fund. So it is also, as you well know, a critical community issue that we're seeking multiple approaches to address, this being just one of them. We also provide grant funding. We're also supporting the current Forsyth County Housing Network, as well as our local impact investing program, which supports all types of housing opportunities. So thanks for the opportunity to share a little bit more, and look forward to continuing partnering with you.
Thank you. Anyone has any questions for Councilmember Burke?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm just a little concerned about the money coming from TURN because of what it is currently used for. It's used to assist homeowners and property owners, I'll just say, to make necessary repairs to their property. And so how will this leave them?
Mr. Tesh.
Councilmember Burke, thank you for the question. In talking with
Ms. McClain. Ms. McClain, would you like to weigh in on this, or? And your name, we know y'all, but for the public, your name and title.
Chantel McClam, Neighborhood Services Director. Good evening. Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor Jones, members of the council and committee. I think it'll still leave us in good shape, Councilmember Burke. We had quite a bit of funding there, and he's taken just a small portion to add towards this $2 million. I think it's going to have a greater good with the Housing Trust Fund. But I think we're going to be in good shape as it relates to continuing to do those repairs to homes in the Northeast Ward in that turn area.
Okay. Ms. McLean?
Yes.
How much do we have in that turn fund right now? Do you have any idea?
I think it was about 2.3. Can you?
Councilmember Burke, we'll be more than happy to get you the balances of those, but it's in the realm of $2 million. The amount that we're taking from TURN is less than $200,000, so it would be roughly 10% or less of the available funding in that program.
Okay, thank you. I have one more question, and probably both of you we need to answer. It's regarding the rental rehab fund. And so according to this document, we'll be taking $550,000 from that fund?
The answer to that question is to be $750,000. The $550 you see in the project budget ordinance is net of some money that's already appropriated there, but it's $750,000 that would be coming out of that fund.
Okay, so I still have the same question. How much do we have in that fund total right now? I'm only thinking about how this will impact citizens who may need this assistance.
So that is an old fund. It has $820,000 left in it. We're leaving a little bit. It is still funding 1 or 2 active projects that should be close to completion. The idea is to use the rest of that remaining funding in that fund and close it out so that there would be no money remaining in it potentially at the end of the fiscal year.
Where do we receive funding for this program?
Those are from federal projects that have been completed. The rental rehab fund is something that has been around for a very long time. Be more than happy to get you a history of that fund, but it is not one that we are expecting to do projects in the future. It has grown with a little bit of program income and some interest income over time for the cash that was in it, but this is an opportunity to use that funding for a housing purpose and then again to close it out because it just has that $820,000 roughly in it, and it's not dedicated to a specific purpose at this point.
Thank you both.
Councilmember Hall.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Adams. I do have a question for you, Ms. Summerfield, if you could approach back. And that question is around not necessarily the reporting, but just some sort of update, I guess, with the Housing Trust Fund as you are continuing to seek private funds throughout the city. If there could be some sort of update that we could get every so often, particularly around where you all are with your fundraising efforts, and then also if there are any other needs from the city that you all would just communicate that. I'm sure you have that somewhere in your mind to do, but just wanted to make sure that I put that and stated that on the record.
Yeah, thanks. Absolutely, we will.
Thank you.
One of the things that some of you already know, Ms. Summerfield, Mr. Pate, the mayor, a few of us, Ms. Wright, Lanier, is that even though we went to visit different cities to get an idea of what a stretch it was going to be for us because we had never done this before. And all of our sister cities that we benchmark against had already been in this for a very long time, very long time. This idea of a trust fund really came up again in 2013, 14. But we weren't able to get any traction with it. In the meanwhile, we had a housing recession that had gone on and now was kind of spinning out of control, headed towards COVID. We had a couple of recessions, and one of them was the great one. And we just kind of, as I told Elaine and others when I met with them, I said, we stuck. We are stuck, and we cannot be stuck, not with this. So this is another tool in our toolbox, as she stated. We have got to get this housing trust fund started. The mayor, he's been working hard. A lot of people know this, the corporate partners, nonprofits, philanthropic groups. You can't be serious about housing in any city our size without a housing trust fund. And for those of you that are going to the housing conference in Raleigh at the end of the month, they'll talk about how important these initiatives are to your quest to do something about housing. Again, this is just one thing, you know, and hopefully we can raise some money, and hopefully our community partners will get in with us, because their employees need housing too. Am I right?
Right.
So, again, thank you so much for putting in the work. Thanks for I'd say the group. I won't call you a task force or anything. All of you that came forward and together to try to help our city move forward on having another tool in our toolbox. Thank you so much. Again, the funds that you're seeing that have been called together, a lot of these funds have been around forever. Way back, decades back. And it goes to show that years ago, the mayor will remember when we said that anything that had not been used, and we really stepped it up over the past couple of years, anything that we had voted on and allotted, delegated money to, and nothing has been done. It's time to pull those funds back like many cities are doing and use them for a greater good in the present versus waiting on what should have been in the past. So with that, may I have a motion, please?
A move to approve item G3.
I second that.
It has been moved and properly seconded by Councilmembers Hall and Jones. All those in favor, please vote electronically by saying yes. All those opposed, vote no. Are we working? Okay, it passes unanimously. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for being here today, and thank you for a short agenda. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all so much.
But that's what I'm talking to Sharon about. There's a lot warmer than our last meeting. But the last meeting was freezing. That's another reason why I went upstairs with my food. The other.
Because I thought it was really bold of you to come down here in sleeveless.
Well,